welcome. Hello to everyone who is new here. My name is Rachel, and to everyone who is returning, hey, what's up? How's it going? Today, we are going to go through my physical TBR. I saw someone else do this. Who did I see do this? Destiny did this. And I thought that I would do the same. I am not shaming anybody in their physical TBR list, but personally, I don't think mine's that bad. Like, I have a lot, but I don't think it's too bad. I will be clipping this on my shirt, but first I wanted to show off my cute fun t-shirt. This is Valaris on it. For those who know, no. But look at how cute this is. You may think the older you get, the less fun merch should get because you need to be a grown-up. And this is to say, actually, it's the opposite. The older you get, the more you can get because you're making money. So I will say this was actually a Christmas gift. Me, a grown woman, asked my mother for this for Christmas. So, I mean, age, you know? So anyways, okay. This is going to be chaotic. I'm just going to talk about probably how long I've had it on my school TBR and move on. It's going to be quick. Let's go ahead and get started with this physical TBR. It'll be great. Okay, first book that I have, it's a big one, is The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. The second one is in here somewhere. This is a high fantasy series. I got it while I was in Portland, so I've probably had it on my shelf now for, yikes, a while. Like 2-3 years? Gotta get to this one. Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. I've also had this one for a long time. I don't even remember where I got it. That's how bad this is. It's a nonfiction one, but it's on my year TBR. I will be reading this one this year. I've started it, see, but it's just a hard one. But it won an award, so it's got to be good. Power by Naomi Alderman. I have also had this one on my shelf for a while. I actually nominated it for my friend's book club and we started to read it and I didn't even finish it. Again, started it, didn't finish it. The next book is an ARC. It is called Baby Teeth. Here's the actual cover. Baby Teeth by Zoe, I apologize, by Zoe Stage. This is a thriller book. This is also on my TBR that I have to read this year. So I will be reading this. I'm scared of this one. The next book is another high fantasy and it is called The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. This is the second book in his The Name of the Wind trilogy. The last book isn't out yet, and I don't know if it'll ever be out. I have already recommended this to someone and they read the first two and now they are very upset with me because they got to the end of the second one and they were like, where's the third one? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. And they're like, why would you recommend this to me if the third one isn't out? And I was like, because I liked it. You know what? This may break me and this may break up relationships. So maybe I don't recommend this, but also it's supposed to be really good. So next book that I have got ripped up by that monster over there, Clark. It's called The Bone Shard Daughter. Jeez, why is that so hard to say? The Bone Shard Daughter. It's only one shard. By Andrea Stewart. This is another high fantasy. I don't know that much about it. It looked interesting and Sarah J. Maas put a little blurb on the back. So I'm like, all right, Sarah, I trust you. I trust you with my life, girl, obviously. The next stack, we're getting to our big stacks. Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I got this one forever ago. Mainly got it for the cover. It's so pretty. It's the Puffin in Bloom cover. The next book is also on my big TBR, so I'm going to read it this year, is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Love the movies. Gotta read this one. The next book is the newest book that I have gotten. It just came out and it is The Brightest Light of Sunshine by Lucina Coney. It is just so cute. I love the premise of it and so I'm excited to read this one. I'll probably read this one pretty soon. So next book is Kill the Farm Boy by Delilah S. Dawson and Kevin Hearn. I have had this one for a while as well. This is like a Monty Python type book, fantasy, but also humor. Next book, The Mysterious Benedict Society by Trenton Lee Stewart. Honestly, this was a little bit of cover by. It's kind of cute. It's a middle grade book, and I don't really read middle grade books all that much anymore. It gave me Series of Unfortunate vibes. Next book, I am so sorry to Kirsten because this is her favorite book, and I had specifically asked her for her favorite book and told her that I wanted to read it, and I still haven't read it. This is The Storyteller by Jodi Picoult. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it this year. Promise. Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. I've heard mixed reviews about this one, but thought that I would save this one for spooky season. This coming up, or this year. Not coming up year, this year. Friday Night Lights by Buzz Bissinger. This is H.G. Bissinger. Is his name not Buzz? Have I been calling him by the incorrect name this whole time? Oh my gosh. I am sorry, Mr. Bissinger, whatever your name is. Apologies. I am going to read this one this year. This is also on my big overall TBR. It is a nonfiction book. It's obviously about football. So, Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. I apologize. I want to say I have actually read this before back in high school. And I remember watching a movie, like a scene in there that will never come out of my brain. I am excited to reread this one. I think it's an important one. So next book is Rook by Sharon Cameron. This was actually a misunderstanding. I was supposed to get The Rook, but instead I got this one, and I started to read it, and I was talking with my friend who told me to buy The Rook. She was like, I think you're reading the wrong book. And sure enough, yeah, this is not the book she told me to buy. This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. I think this is a YA book, and so I really still want to read this, and I love her writing, so gotta read this one. Here we go. Here's the second book. First book, The Black Prism. This one is The Blinding Knife by Brent Weeks. Thought ahead on this one. I don't know why I did that. I don't know if I'm gonna like that one. This book, Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I have never read Agatha Christie novel, so I really want to read this. She's the queen of thrillers. Also, if you have never watched a video about her real life is a mystery. You should check it out. Classic Agatha. Next book, Hope Never Dies by Andrew Schaefer. This is an Obama-Biden mystery. It looks just silly. I don't know if it'll be really that good, but we'll give it a shot. Demon King by Linda Williams-Chima. I have not read one of her books, and she is apparently the queen of high fantasy. I bought the first one of her spin-off series of this one, but then I've heard from other people that I need to read her first one, the Seven Realms series, first before I go into that, so I need to read this one. I've had this one for forever. By Neal Shusterman and Jared Shusterman. I love Neal Shusterman's writing. He wrote the Scythe trilogy. Again, I've had this one for a long time. It's an arc, so I can't get rid of it. I gotta read it. I'm not like super excited to read it, but I feel like I need to. It's called Christians in the Age of Outrage, How to Bring Our Best When the World is at Its Worst by Ed Stetzer. I got this like right at the beginning of COVID. Little did I know how badly I needed to read it then, and I still haven't. Yeah, eventually I'll read this one. We'll see. The next stack, Lego. 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and disappeared. The longest title ever by Jonas Johansson. This is a translated work about exactly what the title says. This is also on my overall TBR, so I will get to this one this year. The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak. I need to actually read it because apparently it's the best book ever. How have I not read it? The Invisible Husband of Frick Island by Colleen Oakley. I had started reading this one, but then just didn't finish it. The premise of it sounded really sad, but also like somehow joyous. I don't know. I'll probably read it over the summer. This one, though, is the third book in the Young Elites series, The Midnight Star. I don't know if I'll actually get to this one or not. It's by Marie Lu. Furyborn by Claire Legrand. Fantasy YA. Need to read it. Will read it this year. Next, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This was an iconic book back in my day when I was in high school and middle school. I just feel like I owe it to the culture to read this one. The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. Patrick Ness wrote one of my favorite books ever, When the Monster Calls, or The Monster Calls. I actually made a movie of this, which is weird to think about, with Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley. Weird. A fever dream. The Italian Secretary by Caleb Carr. I will say this was kind of a cover buy, but also this is a Sherlock Holmes novel. I guess this Caleb Carr person is really good at writing like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, which is weird. That you reach the level of being amazing that other people sell books that sound like you. The Flame Caster by Cinda Williams-Chima. This is the first book that I was talking about in the spin-off series that I will read eventually. I gotta read a whole other series first before I get to this one. So, Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. I have heard things about continuing on in the Serpent and Dove trilogy. I want to give it a shot. I want to try. This is the second one in that trilogy, so we'll see. Rust and Stardust by T. Greenwood. We will see how this one goes. It is a Lolita retelling. If you know anything about Lolita, girl, we're going to deal with some stuff in this. But it's told more from like the perspective of it being an actual crime. I'm a little bit scared to read this one. I don't know if I want to. We'll see. Dark Days Club by Allison Goodwin. I've had this one for a long time. I feel like this was also super iconic during my time in high school, so I'll get to it. The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. This is another YA fantasy. Fantasies used to be my jam, so I want to see if they still are. Last Stack. First book, Heidi by Johanna Sperry. Another cover by But a Dog Ripped It Up. Calling My Name by Liara Manny. I don't really know what this one is about. I think it's a YA coming of age story. But yeah, I'm going to read this one. From Twinkle with Love. This is the second book for the When Dimple Met Rishi. And I loved that one. It's a YA romance, so I want to read this one. We're going to do these two together to make this go faster. We've got Wind Witch and Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. Again, they look fantasy-esque, don't they? And they are. She is another titan in the high fantasy realm, and I have never read any of her books, and I have had these for forever. Gonna read it. Next book, we've got Mary Jane. We are starting to get into my book haul video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I go in depth on these ones. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. One True Love by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'll probably read this one this month. A Stranger in the House by Sherry Lapina. Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. The Inheritance Games trilogy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Pray for the Girl by Joseph Sousa. Age of Vice by Deepti Kapoor. And Restore Me by Tahira Mafi. I have read her Shatter Me series. I read it forever ago. I loved it when I read it. I don't know how I'd feel about it now. But this one is the first one that she wrote like forever after she wrote that series. I have heard mixed reviews about the continuation story. I feel like I owe it. I owe it to her. I am a fan of her writing, so I'll get to it. Okay, that is it. See, I don't think that's too bad. I don't think I've done too bad when it comes to reading my physical TBR. My goal is to read all of them before the end of the year. All of these. Maybe not reading all of the books as I get them this year, just because I have a feeling I'm going to be buying a lot of books. From last year back, I want to read all of them. I will either read or unhaul. all of these. So we'll see. I know that a lot of people have that challenge for themselves, and to me that's just, it's a good idea. I did not include the books that are on this month's TBR because I'm that confident that I will read them. I also didn't include all of the audiobooks that I also need to read. I have quite a few of those. That's it for today. Too bad, not too shabby. If you want to see a library tour, let me know. I'm hopefully going to be moving very soon, so depending on that, maybe it would just be the perfect opportunity to do a library tour. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I will talk to you guys again soon. Okay, bye.